Last month we added 2 new player bases to the world, and now there's actually only 2 surface modules left to go. One between the new bases, and then one at the back right corner of the display. And it's there that today we're taking on the long requested old growth taiga forest to pair with 2022's snowy spruce biome, one of the first builds ever added into the display. This edition actually is going to complete the model's surface perimeter, leaving only a 2-chunk gap besides the mountain. Things are getting pretty crazy close to completion, and I'm hoping these last few episodes will be extra special. I mean, surely adding the biggest trees in the display will get us off to a pretty good start, so hey, let's get to building. Today's module is a good ol' half chunk. As our last surface corner module, it will need to be finished up around at least 2 sides, but I've decided to do all 4 just for fun. That means it could be displayed all by itself too, which is a nice touch. As always, to help with alignment, I'll bring in the neighboring modules, and those are going to be the Cherry Blossom Grove and the practically ancient Snowy Taiga from episode 5. And while I've got the Cherry Grove out, there's actually a few adjustments I've been meaning to make to those 2 modules. I never thought I'd be able to do this, but I'm going to swap out the short grass for bright green flower stems. So this discontinued flower stem has only been produced in a handful of colors, and all of them are rare except for green, which you may know I have far too many of. The other colors, however, lavender, bright green, and olive green, only come in a couple sets each. The brown and dark brown variants of these stems are even more rare, having only been included in one very desirable set each. Bright green is theoretically cheaper and more common, but sellers tend to misidentify the color, and it's nearly impossible to find a store that has more than one available at any given time. That's why I'm pretty happy I was able to amass a collection of 10 over the past 2 years. It ends up being almost enough to swap out all the regular green stems in the biome. I was 1 short, but I figured I could just add in another torch flower instead. The other thing that I've been meaning to do since the Cherry Blossom expansion episode is to update the original tree to be more stylistically consistent with the new one. At the time, I just didn't have enough pink parts on hand, but that was nothing a quick bricklink order couldn't fix. After the changes here, I'm very happy with the state of this biome. Let's move back over to the old growth taiga. As you've probably noticed, we'll definitely be dealing with a good bit of terrain height here to match the Cherry Grove's Y level. But after the mountain episodes, that's gonna feel like a piece of cake. The real challenge is gonna be something else. You see, I really want to do something special for the podzol. I technically have had podzol on the build since episode 2, but it sucks pretty hard. It's just a field of 2x2 reddish brown jumpers beneath the bamboo forest. Not a particularly inspiring technique, but it gets the job done. This time around though, I actually want to get a bit more of that dark orange texture that you find in game. And to do that properly, we're going to need to do a lot of sideways building. To accommodate the unique orientation of all these blocks, the topmost layer of soil will all have to be built sideways. Building like this had me thinking several steps ahead at any given moment, and it was definitely a bit of a headache. We'll really only be able to tell if it worked properly once the new podzol sections are installed, so fingers crossed I did this right the first time. Because we've already laid out all the terrain against the neighboring chunks, I think it's time to take away the Snowy Taiga and the Cherry Blossom Grove again. That'll give me better access to the build so that I can slide the pre-built podzol sections into place. To enhance that podzol texture, I've randomized the locations of the dark orange pieces, and I'm using both dots quarter tiles and dark orange pips. This will ensure it doesn't end up looking like some weird dirt copper ore thing. All of the chunks appear to be sliding smoothly into place, and subtle though the final effect might be, I think it was well worth the extra effort and pieces. I'm very happy with how it turned out, and it's honestly a huge improvement on just having, a sea of reddish brown. All that's left to do now, I suppose, is tile the rest off. One thing I nearly forgot about was the iconic mossy cobblestone boulders that you find in this biome. There's actually something incredibly nostalgic about these simple little rocks, as they do remind me a lot of my childhood visits to South Dakota's Black Hills, which are covered in similar mossy boulders. I did some research, and according to the wiki at least, berry bushes can sometimes spawn in this biome too, and I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to add some here. The red will look very nice, and I'm always down for some different plant life. And speaking of plant life, I'd love to do some custom ferns, but I really don't have any of the pieces that I need on me at the moment. LEGO did just release a new botanical set though that has tons of very promising plant recolors, especially in dark green. Once these pieces go up on LEGO Pick-a-Brick, I'll definitely try and get some custom fern designs made, so stay tuned. But now, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to build some of those giant trees. I've chosen this particular tree design quite simply because I think it's the best looking. Of course, it also happens to be the biggest. And I grossly underestimated how many dark green bricks I would need for each of these. With my existing collection, this was about as far as I got. It wasn't even close. But once again, that's nothing a few bricklink orders couldn't fix. Unlike the snowy Taiga trees, I wanted to make sure there were no visible anti-studs anywhere on these guys. Since they're taller, they'll be much easier to see underneath, so I want to make sure you're getting that same super smooth LEGO Minecraft world experience from all angles. I'll be mixing in some of the 2x2 transparent green bricks again, just for some variety, and it gives the leaves a bit of that illusion of transparency, much like you'd find in game. Oh yeah, and the other thing that these trees eat up a lot of? Tiles. Well over 100 2x2 dark green tiles each. I definitely did not have enough of those either. Once you place the giant trees next to a minifigure, I think you'll start to see how freakishly large these actually are. And once I place them on their bases, they're gonna get even taller. To finish up, I'll add a few small details like this explorer from last year's end ship set walking beneath the trees, and since I pulled the fox from the snowy taiga, I'll add one in here instead. This module fills in the last corner, finally completing the outer perimeter of our world. Beneath this will be the small corner dripstone mineshaft we made this year. And while I'm on the subject of underground modules, I actually spent some time making some simple builds to fill in the gaps between the other underground modules. Most of these are just stone walls, but I had to add another popular series request, a small strip mine. Poor guy seems to have given up a single block away from diamond, and the biggest treasure of all, sand red. These will be properly installed once we get to episode 50. And that's everything I've got for today's episode. I can't believe there's just a single overworld module to go. The next few episodes though, I think we'll focus our efforts underground again. And there are some extremely exciting cave modules to come, and none might be more epic than the next episode, which is a proper ancient city build. While building the mountain, I hinted at the idea that I might attempt this massive underground structure, and now I have finally acquired enough pieces to make it happen. If you want to watch this episode as early as today, you can do so by becoming a channel member. Channel members get early access to most all of my videos and are able to join our members only Discord. If you're interested, click the join button down below or follow the link that I've put in the video description. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great life, and I'll see you again soon.